Hey guys, welcome back to the movie summary. Beginning of the movie, we see a lady. Her name is Amelia. Amelia has a 6-year-old son. She lives alone with her son because her husband died. Before Amelia's son is born, her husband takes her to the hospital. Then they will have an accident. Her husband dies in that accident. A son will be born to her on the same day. His name is Samuel. But she never celebrated her son's birthday because her husband died on the same day. Besides, she doesn't love Samuel that much. Samuel is a very naughty child. Every time he feels that monster has come near him. So he used to look under the bed and in the cupboard together with his mother every night before going to bed to see if there was a monster. This makes Amelia very worried about her son. She used to tell stories to her son every day before going to bed. And he listened those stories with great interest. Samuel always thinks about monsters. Besides, he also made weapons to fight with monsters. Samuel always used to show magic tricks to his mother. He learned all these magic tricks by watching them on TV. All this makes Amelia very bored. She didn't even love him as her own son. One day while Amelia is doing her work, Samuel gets a call from school. Because Samuel takes weapons to school with him. So Amelia goes to school and scolds him a lot and also talks to the principal. Then she takes Samuel and goes home. On the same night, Samuel gives her a book to tell a story to her mother. The name of that book is The Babadook. Amelia reads the book. In this book it is written that Babadook is a monster, he has long legs and fingers are very strange. Moreover, Babadook wears a hat on his head. Whoever thinks and sees this monster cannot sleep well. Moreover, they always think about their death. Amelia feels strange after reading all this. She tells her son a different story. But he believes that it is true in the book of Babadook. And he screams out loud in fear. So Amelia hides the book in the cupboard so that Samuel will not read it. But next day Samuel talks about Babadook book. So she convinces Samuel that the Babadook is not real. This causes Amelia to not sleep well through the night. But Samuel believes that everything in the book is true. One day he opens the basement door. In it, Amelia hides all the things related to her husband. But now Amelia can't control herself and goes to the basement. There Amelia sees her husband's photo after 6 years. Since then, strange things have been happening in that house. Doors are opening and closing by themselves, there are pieces of glass in the food. And Samuel used to shout for no reason. Amelia thinks that Samuel is doing all this. But Samuel says that Babadook is doing all this. Hearing this, Amelia gets very angry. She tells Samuel that the Babadook is all a lie. Amelia angrily tears up the Babadook book and throws it outside the house. Next day Amelia goes to her sister's house. Because today is her sister's daughter's birthday. Amelia's sister tells her that you should forget the past and move on. Then she says, I'm trying to move on. Later Amelia's sister tells her that I don't like your son. Hearing this, she gets angry with her sister. Amelia's sister daughter and her son are there in a small tree house. She is mocking Samuel that your daddy is not with you. Then Samuel pushes her in anger. Then blood comes from her nose. So Amelia's sister gets angry, she tells Amelia to leave from here. Later, Amelia takes Samuel home, he acts strangely. Then suddenly he gets an attack. Amelia immediately takes him to the doctor. Amelia asks the doctor to give sleep medicine Samuel. Because he could not sleep day and night because he was afraid of Babadook. After coming home, Amelia gives sleeping medicine to her son before going to bed. He sleeps soundly after long days. Seeing this, Amelia feels very happy. But then the doorbell rings. When she opens the door, there is a Babadook book. Someone had pasted the papers Amelia tore in it. It is written in that book that if Amelia doesn't believe that Babadook exists, he will destroy her life. Also in that book there are drawings of Amelia killing her dog and her son. There are also cases where he stabbed herself with a knife and died. Amelia gets scared after seeing all this and burns the book. Then she gets a call. After receiving the call she heard Babadook. Hearing this, she gets scared and goes to the police station. Amelia tells the officer what happened. Later the officer asks her which book. Then she says, I burned that book. The officer tells her to go home. Because she has no proof. Just then Amelia sees a hat and a coat in the station. They are like in the same Babadook story. Amelia gets scared seeing them and comes home. She was always alone and yelled at Samuel. Now she sees a Babadook in the house. One day Amelia notices a hole in the back of the fridge. From it cockroaches come out. But in the next moment there will be nothing. Amelia is annoyed by this. Amelia wants to go out to eat ice cream with Samuel to relax her mind. Whenever she goes out with her son, they are very fun. While returning home, she sees the Babadook in the car. Then she gets so scared that she can't control the car and crashes into another car. Amelia does strange things after coming home. Seeing all this, her son was very scared and called the neighbors. Just then Amelia cuts the phone call lines. Later that night she forcefully tries to give sleeping pills to her son. But Samuel doesn't take medicine. He hides it in his hand and behaves like eating it. Then Amelia killed her own son with a knife. And looks Babadook on TV. When she looks out her window a strange shape appears. Then she goes into the basement of the house. Her husband appears there and says that if you kill our son, I will come back. But what we realize here is that this is all Amelia's illusion. Actually all this is done by Babadook monster. Knowing this, Amelia is about to come out of the basement when Babadook attacks her. He brought her under his control. Amelia is completely in Babadook control. As in the book, Amelia first kills her dog. Then she knocks on the door to kill Samuel. Samuel attacks her with his weapons as she enters. Samuel goes into the basement. When she reaches there, he slowly comes from behind and attacks her. Hence she loses consciousness. Later, when Amelia regains consciousness, she is tied up with ropes. Samuel sits next to her. Then Samuel tells his mother that Babadook is doing all this. You didn't believe me when I told you. Amelia then angrily grabs Samuel. But Samuel lovingly calls her mother and shows his love for her. Amelia is slowly getting back to normal. Suddenly, she vomits in black color. This will make her normal. As she goes back to her room, Samuel tells her that no one can escape from Babadook. Just then some force drags him into the room from behind. Amelia immediately runs after her son. She saves him. Then the Babadook shows her husband talking. But Amelia realizes it's all an illusion and screams that this is my house, get out from here. Then the Babadook goes into the basement and locks himself. Next we see the scene after a few days. Amelia and Samuel look happy. Amelia starts loving her son. Also shows a lot of interest in his weapons and magic tricks. One day Amelia goes into the basement to find some bugs. Then there was a Babadook. The Babadook monster takes those worms to eat. Just then Babadook attacks her. That makes her fall down. But soon she gets up again. Then the Babadook takes the worms and goes to a corner. Amelia comes out. In the next scene, Amelia celebrates her son's birthday. Now Amelia does not hesitate when talking about her husband. She faced it all. What we know in the ending of the movie is that the Babadook is not a monster. All that Amelia is mentally disturbed since her husband died. Since then she felt like someone was controlling her. So she put her husband's belongings in the basement. When Samuel opened the basement door, Amelia was reminded of all her husband's memories. Now those memories will not go away from her mind. But she can control them. Now she thinks very strongly. She is happy with her son. This is how this movie ends. I'm working hard to make these videos, it's my humble request to subscribe my channel.